Not been an easy week for Justin Trudeau, and this is just a trade war. Imagine Justin dealing with a real one, like the one being pushed by the Europeans in Ukraine today. After Zelensky's performance last Friday at the White House, a minerals deal right now is up in the air. And although Trump announced Tuesday night that Zelensky is good to go, he's not here. He's in Brussels, with the Euros pushing to continue this war with hundreds of billions of dollars of their own money. Maybe as much as $600 billion could extend this war for years and years with that kind of money.
Exactly, extend it with no solution in place. Like who's getting that money? Like, who's benefiting from the war? And obviously you can think that maybe Europe's benefiting, maybe US somehow. But if even president of Ukraine is not willing to negotiate about a peace, well, my guess is that he is benefiting somehow from the war. And like I said before, just leave your ego outside of the door and go deal about a peace, because your people are dying. If you want to extend this war, there's not going to be any more people to save. Like I was watching Piers Morgan, and he mentioned interesting thing. That pretty much this whole generation of Ukrainians is gone. Because either they left Ukraine or they were killed during the war. Like there's gonna be one whole generation pretty much missing. And he wants to continue with this bullshit. Like when is it gonna turn from, obviously, again, what Russia did was bad, it was not supposed to happen ever, it should have been dealt with within the first week. Like, it should have never become this full-scale war. But it happened. It's been done, right? Russia is still bad. But when is it gonna turn out to be Zelensky bad? Because he doesn't want to end this war. Like, Russia's willing to negotiate. Who knows what are the conditions and everything, but they're at least willing to sit there and talk about it. But Zelensky is not willing to negotiate. He's willing to sacrifice more people in... and there's not even like the end goal. Like, what's the end goal? To have the borders like before the war? That's not gonna happen.
This week, Denmark's prime minister blew up the entire idea of a ceasefire and a peace deal. Mette Frederiksen has never done anything besides talk. She is a career politician, but she is completely certain that Ukraine should continue fighting Russia until Russia loses, despite the fact that Ukraine will run out of men.
Okay, sorry. Yes, we're doing it. So what's the population of Russia? Oh, jeez. Population of Russia, 143 million in 2023. Ukraine, oh, we have it right over there, 37. Really? And you're telling me that Russia's gonna lose? Again, Russia, communist country. If you don't want to go to war, you're going to the prison. If you don't want to go to war, we're gonna take all the land you have and your family's gonna suffer, or your family's gonna go to prison. So let's say, even if we cut it in half, that 50% of the people will refuse and whatever, right? That's still 70 million people against Ukraine's 37. And you think the whole 37 is able to go to war? No. And you're telling me Ukraine's gonna win? Even if 1/3 of the Russia's population went to war, you think Ukraine would be able to win? 1/3. So how much is 1/3? Is it 30 million? No. 40 million. It's still more than the whole population of Ukraine. And you're gonna tell us that they can win. What are you talking about?
Fight long before that ever happens.
Maybe we will even give
Sorry,
them
I
a
think
better
he actually
situation than
mentioned the
today,
same
because,
thing. Let me
if
just
than
rewind.
today, maybe we
We'll run out of men to fight long before
Exactly.
that ever happens.
maybe we will even give them a better situation than today, because if we end this war now with some kind of a frozen conflict, a ceasefire, it will give Russia the possibility to return to Russia, to mobilize more funds, people, and maybe to attack another country in Europe.
No
So, what's your plan to drag the war so Russia loses some of their resources and then won't be able to attack Europe for another 20 years until the next generation of Russians is born? That's your plan? Well, she's pretty much willing to sacrifice one country because, again, Ukraine's not gonna win. Like, there's no way. The Russia's 3-4 times the size of Ukraine, and like population wise, and you're gonna tell me that Ukraine's gonna win?
ceasefire, no peace deal. A Danish socialist, career politician who's never enlisted, never fought anything, but her opinion appears to be ubiquitous across Europe. They are terrified as Trump tries to end this war with a diplomatic and economic-minded solution. The Eurozone meeting this week to surge spending on defense, again, hundreds of billions. And think about one side of it, as far as NATO in this moment, they're all going to spend a lot more money on Ukraine and a lot more money on their own defense. The European Union is about to experience military might that it hasn't known since the end of the Second World War. The West will be far safer after all of this, and despite all their complaints. It doesn't really track very well with Trump as Putin's puppet, which we seem to hear all the time. The president pushing NATO even further today. NBC reporting administration officials claiming Trump is considering no longer protecting NATO countries that don't meet their membership requirements on defense spending.
I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I know where he's coming from, and that's definitely his business point of view. And if we take emotions out of it, you have membership in NATO, right? You're not fulfilling defense spending threshold. Well, they have some conditions that they need to fulfill in order to be in NATO, right? And if you're not fulfilling it, well, maybe they should kick you out of NATO. But again, like, if you're already in NATO and there are no precautions or whatever you want to call it in place against countries that are not fulfilling these requirements, I don't think you should refuse to protect them. I think it should be dealt with you're not spending enough on defense. Okay, you're out. This is the contract. You were supposed to fulfill it. You didn't. Out. Done. But if you're already in NATO and you remain in NATO, I still think you should protect them. Like, I know it sounds kind of weird, but like, I don't think you should be part of the NATO if you don't follow the contract. That's what I think about it. It's more like wording. Like, the members of NATO should protect every single member of NATO, and at the same time, the current members of NATO who don't fulfill the requirements should be kicked out of NATO. That's my opinion. I guess it's just different wording, but
If you don't hit that mark, why would we protect you? You haven't hit that mark in 50 years. It is a tough love measure that will dramatically strengthen this alliance even more. Take a listen.
If the United States was in trouble and we called them, we said, we got a problem, France, we got a problem, a couple of others I won't mention. Do you think they're going to come and protect us? They're supposed to, I'm not so sure.
I mean, I don't know about that. Like, I'm just thinking about all of these conflicts in Afghanistan, in what was it, Iraq, and I know Czech Republic, for example, sent some soldiers there. They sent a unit to support Americans. So I don't know. I don't know about that. No, I don't agree with it. I think if US was under attack, every single member of NATO would go and help them. And the reason for it is super easy. Other than what we hope for is that they're members of NATO, right? And they're bound to help US. But there's another reason, like who's gonna attack US? Well, the chances are probably it's gonna be someone who's really like really dangerous, right? Like Russia. So you're gonna have to choose the side. So you're in NATO, you're gonna choose the side of the US, right? You're not gonna choose the side of Russia, let's say, for this example. Like if someone attacks US, you're definitely gonna have to choose the side. And since you're already in NATO, like I don't know. I don't really think that they wouldn't get any help.
I view NATO as potentially good, but you gotta get some good thinking in NATO. It's very unfair what's been happening. Until I came along, we were paying close to 100% of NATO. So think of it, we're paying 100% of their military, and they're screwing us on trade.
I was talking about this with some of the people back in Czech Republic, and no, it's definitely true. Like the Europe thinks that US is their protector, that US is gonna protect them no matter what, and yeah, like they don't invest into military or defense as much as they should, I guess. Well, looking at the situation nowadays, they should. Because they think the US is going to be on their side, so everything's going to be okay, right? But at the same time, it's kind of the position the US wanted before Trump. Because I know we had some deals that they're going to have some, how is it called? Damn, I lost that word for it. Army, yeah, that they're gonna have some army base in the Czech Republic, and it's gonna help with the protection of Czech Republic and Europe, right? That's what actually US wanted as well, so it was kind of mutual deal. So like Trump is definitely right that it's not okay for US to be the only ones spending on military. But then at the same time, like US kind of wanted to be in this position.
Yeah. Bulgaria's prime minister stating today that Europe is weak without the United States. Well,
Yeah.
Of course it is. I mean, the United States has been about half of NATO for quite a while. But this is what they need to get stronger. This is the tough love.
Yeah.
The Euros have atrophied over the past 70 years. They haven't given defense really a second thought in a very long time. They're thinking about it now.
We want a peace through strength.
No.
And this is the reason why I present today to the lead.
I wonder how heavy it is to hold a mic like this, you know, on the like damn, the people who hold it must go to the gym. But anyway, here we have President Zelensky in his White House outfit.
Leaders, the Rearm Europe plan. The Rearm Europe plan provides up to 800 billion euros for defense investment.
800.
Okay, 800 million, or was it million or billion euros, whatever, for defense investment. Why is she standing next to Zelensky talking about it?
100 billion euros, a lot of money.
Billion, yep.
Zelensky in Brussels may be moving further and further away from a peace deal as this all goes on. He doesn't want to do this minerals deal. I think we can all agree on that. He doesn't seem to want to negotiate with Russia at all. Today, Trump's Ukraine envoy, explained exactly what happened last Friday.
Oh,
What
let's
happened
see.
is they said, wait a second, this is not what we thought this was going to be. You don't negotiate peace discussions in public. You don't try to
Exactly. So all he was supposed to do that Friday was sit down, have a polite conversation with JD and President Trump, and then sign the deal. But what he starts doing is trying to bait the Trump into saying that Putin is bad and what's going on is just horrible, which is, and he admitted it, right? But the main focus was just to trash Putin, which President Trump can't do because he's trying to negotiate a peace deal. You can't be obviously biased towards one side. And at the same time, you can't start shit-talking the other side. Like, what is it? What I also heard about this meeting was that Zelensky was warned, don't talk about this. This is about signing the minerals deal. Another thing, they told him to wear the suit. Did he wear it?
challenge the President of the United States in the Oval Office that, in fact, you need to side with me and not the Russians. You don't become an independent interlocutor if you look at something like that. And he was forewarned. It's not like President Zelensky was not made aware that this is what we wanted out of the Ukrainians.